Welcome to the deep dive. Look, guiding teens through adolescence is already a monumental task, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
But then you throw substance use into the mix, and suddenly it can feel, well, incredibly overwhelming,
Yeah.
isolating even.
Like you're completely lost.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
you're navigating a total maze blindfolded. So today, we're diving into some really crucial material that hopefully promises to bring some much-needed clarity to that fog.
hmm
Our mission really in this deep dive is to truly understand and, maybe more importantly, effectively respond to teen substance use. We've got a fantastic source for this exploration. Excerpts from Guiding Teens Through Substance Use, A Parent's Compasses.
Yeah, it's a great resource.
It really seems to offer profound, actionable insights for anyone trying to support a young person through what can be a really, really difficult time.
That's right. And our mission today is to unpack not just what teen substance use looks like, but the crucial why behind it.
Why?
And perhaps most importantly, we're digging into practical, research-backed strategies for parents. A foundational truth we'll probably keep coming back to throughout this deep dive is that substance use is often a symptom of something deeper.
Symptom.
Yeah, and that connection, your bond with your team, is truly the most powerful tool you have.
Right. Connection. So this exploration, it should provide actionable insights, help you navigate this incredibly sensitive topic, offering clarity, understanding, and frankly, maybe a lot of hope. Let's unpack this.
Okay.
So let's start with a really crucial perspective. When a teen turns to substances, maybe marijuana or alcohol, it's so easy to just see bad choices or like rebellion, surface behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is your team actually trying to say? What really jumped out at me from the material is how clear it makes it. Teen substance use isn't just bad behavior. It's often a symptom of deeper emotional or social issues. Exactly. And what's really fascinating here, I think, is that when a teen uses substances, they're often trying to communicate a whole range of unmet needs or struggles.
Okay, like what kind of things?
Well, for instance, they might be using it to cope with intense stress or anxiety. Think about overwhelming school pressures, maybe social anxieties that feel, amplified by social media, or even ongoing family conflict.
Right, that makes sense.
It can also be a way to deal with emotional pain, maybe unresolved trauma, grief, or underlying mental health concerns that they just don't have other ways to express yet. For some, it's even a form of self-medication for like a developing mental health issue they can't even name.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge shift from just judging the behavior itself. It's like you said, trying to understand the message behind the smoke signal, not just getting mad about the
Well,
smoke.
precisely.
So what else might they be trying to express, maybe even unconsciously?
Well, it could be a raw desire for independence, a
Yeah.
way of testing boundaries or seeking autonomy as they figure out who they are.
Part of growing up, in a way.
Sort of.
Mhm.
Or it might simply be about social belonging, that really deep human need to fit in or be accepted by a peer group.
Yeah, peer pressure is real.
Definitely. And sometimes, look, it's just plain boredom or a search for stimulation. Adolescent brains are kind of wired for risk, and many teens have underdeveloped coping strategies, so they look for quick relief. The guide really makes a compelling argument here. Substance use is often a symptom, not the core problem itself.
Okay, so if it's a symptom, what can parents actually do to help? Because it sounds like the typical angry reaction isn't just unhelpful.
It could make things worse. Absolutely. Reacting with anger can completely shut down communication, just making your teen retreat further.
So what's step one?
The first step, according to the Compass Guide, is to try and stay calm and curious. Easier said than done, I know.
Right. Calm and curious.
Instead of accusing, which is often our natural instinct, right?
Yeah.
It suggests asking open-ended questions like, can you help me understand what's been going on lately?
Less confrontational.
Exactly. It's about expressing concern, not control. Thinking, I care about you and I want to understand what's behind this, rather than just, you're in trouble.
Okay.
And a practical mental trick the guide suggests for parents, which I like, is to literally take 3 deep breaths before you say anything. Just give yourself a chance to switch from panic mode to curiosity mode.
3 deep breaths. Okay. That sounds simple, but I can imagine in the heat of the moment, calm and curious feels almost impossible. What's the next step after that initial, hard-won calm? How do you keep the lines of communication open, especially when there's such a strong impulse to lecture or maybe even shame?
Yeah, you're spot on. Teens often already feel judged and misunderstood, so you
Yeah.
need to deliberately create safe and open communication by actively avoiding those lectures or shaming.
Okay, how?
This is where it gets really interesting, I think. You validate their feelings without condoning the behavior.
Validate the feeling. Okay, give me an example.
Right. So instead of saying something like, you have no reason to be overwhelmed and using substances is just making it worse, which shuts them down,
Right.
you could try saying, it makes sense that you're feeling overwhelmed. I hear that. Let's figure out some better ways to handle that feeling together. You're acknowledging their internal experience, their feeling, separate from the choice they made.
Ah, I see. Validating the feeling, not the behavior. That's brilliant. But, okay, what about accountability? Does that mean you just let things slide and hope for the best?
Not at all. That's a really important point. The next critical step is to establish clear boundaries and logical consequences.
Logical consequences.
Yes, you need to be consistent and clear about your expectations. Implement consequences, maybe reduce privileges, something directly related if possible, but always do so while still offering emotional support.
So it's not punishment out of anger.
Exactly. It's about showing I love you and these are the rules for your safety and well-being, not I'm punishing you because I'm mad. And crucially, alongside this, you need to strengthen the connection through positive interaction.
Strengthen connection.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a proactive step. But how does that work in practice? Especially with a teen who might be pushing you away or maybe seems to only want to interact when there's a problem.
Yeah, it might sound counterintuitive when things are tense, but the guide highlights that prioritizing just say 5–10 minutes of positive, undivided attention daily can make a huge difference.
Just 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, and this isn't about solving problems or talking about the issues. It's about simply being present. Focus on activities your teen enjoys, even if they act resistant at first. Maybe it's just sitting in the same room while they scroll on their phone without judgment.
Hmm, just being there.
The idea is to deliberately create moments of positive connection rather than only interacting around problems or disciplinary stuff. These are like small deposits in the relationship bank account.
Relationship bank account, I like that.
And this actually ties into something called the pride skills. Now, these were traditionally used with younger children, but the core principles of pride, that's praise, reflect, imitate, describe, enthusiasm, are actually highly effective with teens too when you adapt them appropriately.
Pride skills.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more. How does that work with a teen? Praise.
Yeah, so with praise, use specific labeled praise, not just good job, but I really appreciate you coming home on time tonight, like we discussed.
Okay, specific. What about reflect?
For reflect, it's about truly reflecting their thoughts and feelings without judgment, like saying, so you feel like no one gets how stressed you are with all this schoolwork, shows you're really listening.
That sounds powerful, yeah. Actively listening and mirroring their feelings.
Mm.
How do the other ones imitate and describe? How do they apply to teens? Because, they might not want you imitating them.
That's a great question. Imitate here means genuinely engaging in their world. It's not mimicking them, but maybe listening to their music with them, asking about it, even trying a video game they play if you're up for it, or just being present in their space without demanding conversation. It just shows you're interested in what they care about.
Okay, showing interest in their world. And describe.
Describe is simply noticing and calmly stating positive things you see them doing without evaluation. Like, I notice you really focused on that project for the last hour instead of just generic praise like, you're working hard. It shows you're paying attention to the details of their effort, not just the outcome.
Ah, okay. Specific observation.
Exactly. And for enthusiasm, well, just show genuine interest and positive energy about the things they care about, even if it's totally unfamiliar to you. Ultimately, the guide makes a really compelling case here. Positive attention builds trust and increases connection, which is often exactly what teens are craving under the surface, even if they don't show it.
It makes so much sense. And it's one thing for these strategies to sound right, but what truly makes them powerful is knowing they're not just, like, theory. What does the research actually reveal about their real-world impact?
Oh, the research strongly supports these methods. It's quite convincing, actually. Studies consistently show that warm, involved parental monitoring significantly reduces the likelihood of substance use in teens.
Warm and involved, not just monitoring.
Right, the quality of the monitoring matters. And family-based interventions like functional family therapy, FFT, and multisystemic therapy, MST, have been proven incredibly effective.
Like, what do those involve?
Well, FFT, for instance, focuses on breaking down those negative family interaction patterns and building up positive communication and problem-solving skills together as a family unit.
Right. Working on the dynamics.
Exactly. And MST, multisystemic therapy, that one looks at the whole ecosystem around the teen, family, school, friends, community, and works to strengthen support across all those areas. It's broader.
So it's definitely not just theory, it's evidence-based practice.
Yeah.
Are there specific communication techniques that research points to as particularly helpful for parents in these situations?
Absolutely. Motivational interviewing techniques, MI for short, are incredibly effective.
Motivational interviewing.
Yeah, it involves things like listening reflectively, really affirming a teen's autonomy, and helping them articulate their own reasons for making a change.
So you're not telling them why they should change.
Exactly. It's more like being a curious guide, not a demanding boss. You help them explore their own motivations and see the path forward themselves, rather than you just telling them they should change. It's much more powerful when the motivation comes from within.
That makes sense.
And significantly, studies have consistently found that supportive relationships in this kind of open communication, rather than purely punitive strategies, lead to more long-term positive change and reduced substance use. It just keeps underscoring that genuine connection truly is the bedrock for lasting change.
This is such complex territory, isn't it? And while these strategies are incredibly helpful, it feels important to stress that parents don't have to navigate this alone. What resources are available for support and guidance beyond what we've discussed here?
Oh, definitely. No one should feel alone in this. The Compass Guide points to several excellent resources. For reading and online guides, there's Sam HSA's Family Guide, that's the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
A key federal resource, right?
Yes, very reliable. And the Partnership to End Addiction is another great one. They offer practical tools and a supportive community for families going through this.
Partnership to End Addiction.
Okay. There's also a specific book mentioned, Motivational Interviewing for Parents, which could be really helpful for learning those MI skills we just talked about to engage adolescents in conversations about change.
Good practical suggestion. What about immediate support, like hotlines?
Yes, for immediate support, hotlines like the SAM HSA National Helpline are available 24/7. And Teen Line is especially powerful because it's actually staffed by trained teens themselves.
Oh, wow. Teens, helping teens.
Yeah, it offers a unique peer perspective for young people seeking help, which can sometimes break through barriers that adults can't.
That's a fantastic range of options. And for those families who might feel they need more intensive support, what about therapy and these intervention programs you mentioned, like MST and FFT? How does a parent even begin to find those?
Yeah, for more structured help, those evidence-based therapies are definitely worth looking into. Multisystemic therapy, as we said, is great for serious behavioral issues, focusing on the broader environment. Functional family therapy is another excellent option, focused on family dynamics.
And are they accessible?
They often are. They're frequently covered by Medicaid and many private insurance plans. A good place to start searching for local adolescent substance use treatment programs is usually through your state's behavioral health department websites.
Okay, state websites.
Or honestly, just ask your teen's school counselor for referrals. They often have really good local connections and know the resources in your community.
Good advice. School counselors can be invaluable.
Absolutely.
Okay, so as we bring this deep dive to a close, it feels clearer than ever that while parenting a teen who is, experimenting with or using substances can be incredibly overwhelming and painful, change is genuinely possible.
It really is. And let's just reiterate that foundational truth one more time. Connection is the most powerful tool a parent has. Your teen needs your unwavering support and your consistent structure, especially when they appear to push it away.
Yeah. Don't give up on that connection. And remember this really powerful thought from our sources today. You don't have to do this alone.
So important.
We really encourage you listening to reflect on that message and explore the resources available for support and guidance. We truly hope this deep dive has offered you some clarity, maybe some practical steps, and a path forward in what can feel like an impossible journey sometimes.
Yeah, hope is key.